Hello and welcome to Homeschool MBA, where we talk about different management, business, administration topics. Thank you for being here. Let's get started. The agenda today is bureaucratic procedures for general managers. Uh, as usual, we've prepared a one-page slide going over these topics. Hello, Professor. How are you doing? Let's talk about this unique topic.
I'm okay, and it's a very important subject which you have picked up because the word bureaucratic or bureaucracy is mostly misunderstood. Sometimes it is used as a negative expression. However, bureaucracy is a positive word. It means doing things according to rules, regulations, and procedures, and of course, through various proposals and options. Basically, the process starts from the lowest manager. A proposal is developed by the lower management, then it is submitted to the middle management, and if the middle management doesn't agree with that, it is sent back to the lower management for various amendments and improvements, and it is passed on again to middle management, and from middle management to senior management and to chief executive with the same procedure, unless the entire hierarchy of management is on the same page, that proposal remains under consideration. This is basically a kind of bureaucratic procedure. And when we say fools look towards perfection, wise men go for success, it means that success is more important than we being perfect. So we would say in official words that bureaucratic procedures are written policies, directives, notifications, proposals, and approvals systems used for corporate management or government functionaries, and they are discussed and shared for putting the entire organization on the same page and sharing the responsibility. And it is done in order to ensure application of legal authority in a proper way in day-to-day matters. However, this can be divided into four different, topics or elements, as very rightly put by you. The first one, let's say, is organizational politics. Now, when we say birds of same feather flock together, we means that the people with similar interest, with similar background, with similar thinking about various issues, they tend to flock together, and they tend to uh, you know kind of agree and help each other. But to put it in, let's say, in a proper framework, it can be said that organizations are made up of people. People belong to different schools of thought, political parties, geographical areas, cultures, and religions. Therefore, their opinion and inclination is guided by their background, which leads to procedural conflicts and organizational politics. Sometimes it can also be said that favoritism and even disfavoritism is also part of organizational politics, and sometimes organizational politics is used for positive purposes, so in order to make sure that the people they understand for example for example uh, if we go back, say, about 40, 50 years, or maybe 60 years, when the computer technology was being, introduced, so the United States of America decided to make a paper-free uh, society. And at that time, the challenge was to convey the message to the people that using paper is dangerous. Therefore, they had to do number of things, publications and advertisements and this, that, and the other, that paper is no good and paper can create litter and paper can do this. However, the ultimate aim was to introduce digitalization. Now, exactly the same way today, we are again going towards, 5G applications and things like that. So here, the organizational politics is being used for positive purposes to convey the message and to convince the people and prepare them for the change. Because the change management is a very, very difficult and a very, very important factor in, management sciences. So you have to prepare the staff you have to prepare the management. Even sometimes you have to prepare the top management to accept the change. And then you create a change agent, and then the change agent involves him or herself in such type of approach where some kind of organizational politics is used to introduce the new change, because there is nothing permanent in the world except the change itself. So therefore, we have to, the buzzword is called change management. So we have to manage the change and bring it in our day-to-day procedures. Now, for that purpose, we have another stage, what we call stalling. Now, stalling is part of organizational politics as well as bureaucratic procedure. This technique is used to gain time for making good decision. In simple words, it means slowing down the decision approval process in the interest of the company organization. Now, you put it very rightly. Now, let us say normally this technique of stalling is used by the chief executive or the top management or executive management, because they know when and how to introduce certain proposal or certain change. So therefore, if the proposals and the decisions are being made much more earlier than they desire to be implemented, so they start stalling it, slowing it down, referring to, forwarding to, and asking various other people's opinion on it. So basically, they are trying to slow down the process until they reach the time when they want to decide. And then that is the decision is then taken when the management feels that it is the time to take this decision. This process is called stalling. In simple words, slowing down the decision process. And then we move down to referencing. So means referring to precedents, decisions made in the past in order to support the present decision. It also means referring to various options and proposals submitted by the subordinates, or subject matter experts. Now, referring is also a very important function. Precedents are those decisions which were taken in the past on the similar subject. So you refer to those precedents that the situation in the past was just like the present situation, and the proposal in the past was just like the present proposal. Therefore, in that, at that time, we decided like this. Therefore, we can decide like this today also, and also achieve the same results what we did in the past. So that is one reference to precedents. The other is referring to various options, because as I said that in bureaucratic procedures, the proposals, they start from the lower management to middle management to senior management and then executive and the top management. And at each level, different decisions are proposed or different options are proposed. So the chief executive or the deciding authority refers to particular proposal submitted by at particular level, that so and so decision is seems to be good for the company. Therefore, let's decide like that. So this is how we say referencing. What it means, in other words, is that putting all the arguments for and against on record and then deciding on merit. And it also determines the responsibility. So it's a kind of collective responsibility. If the decision is goes wrong, no one person can be blamed for it, because each reference was made and they were for the options were forwarded, and every person was consulted, and everybody had his or her proposal in it. So therefore, the final decision is, considered to be collective decision of that committee or that management or that group. So the individual responsibility cannot be fixed in this. That is what is very important over here, because all the decisions are never as successful as they are intended, and people start indulging in blame games that this is because of so and so and this is because of so and so. To avoid that, this referencing and forwarding is done. And what do we mean by forwarding? Forwarding is a procedure to forward significant proposals, directives, and notifications to keep the relevant departments people informed for taking any action if required by any of the recipients. It is also used for keeping all the concerned on the same page. So what does it mean? That the proposal or the decision before it was taken, or if it was before it was implemented, it was forwarded to all relevant functionaries of the organization or company or whatever you may call it. And if anybody has any difference of opinion, still they can put on record, so that the final decision is considered to be the decision of all. So that is what, generally speaking, the bureaucratic procedures are. These are, to sum it up, these are written procedures which are done according to policies and according to rules and regulations of the company, which are approved by the board of directors of the company. So we can say that bureaucratic procedure or bureaucracy is a positive word. It's not a negative word, and it must be understood that way. I think that is what, generally speaking, the bureaucratic procedures mean.
Professor, one question. Can you expand a little bit more on perfection versus success, that first statement that you make here?
Okay. You see, as I said, that there is nothing perfect in the world except the nature, because a perfect, let's say, a perfect decision or perfect product today can be, no more perfect in 2 years' time. So what we mean perfection is that this is the final. So there is nothing final in the world. So as I said, the only thing which is final or permanent is the change. So that's what we say, that instead of looking towards perfection, that everything must be perfect, wise men go for success. They would say that as far as, even if there are some weaknesses here and there and some difficulties here and there, but implementing that decision will lead us to success, and they achieve the success. So good managers, they always go for success. They do not delay their actions because of being perfect. That's what it means.
Okay. Thank you everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe to all our social media.